I took 23 leaders from across the country. We were using WebEx when WebEx used to be 128 pixels at like 4 frames a second, and we thought that was cool. And we connected all these people, and then they came and had an in-person experience. So this is like early version of hybrid. It
Mm.
was all virtual until we came together in person, and the 23 people attempted to summit Mount Rainier as a metaphor for a goal they never knew how to achieve.
And did some people get to the top?
Well, here's the point about the trip too, David. I wanted to make sure because I had my own experience with it. I actually carried my business plan to the summit, and it became a metaphor for me of like my own journey. Like I wanted to give up at one point in climbing. The first time I climbed sorry, not Everest, but Mount Rainier here, 14,410 feet, is that I got up to what's called Disappointment Cleaver.
Yes,
This is the most
I've been
popular
there.
place for people to quit. Right? And turn around. And I got there and I felt that I was having all the feels about it going, I'm tired, right? I would love to turn around. Can I take these damn boots off and can I have some hot chocolate? And what happened though is I had to go through this and I said, I trained 8 months for this. I want to make sure and know where where are my capabilities at? I don't want it to be me. Like if I get turned around for safety by the guide, okay, that's fine, but I don't want it to be me. Go as far as I think I can go until something or someone tells me I to go turn around.
Uh-huh.
The best part about it is that I got into a rhythm, and there's simple things like you do 2 things. One is a certain kind of breathing. It's called pressure breathing. It sounds like this,
Yep,
right? Which
yep.
you're trying to force all the CO2 out so you can get maximum oxygen. And the second thing is a rest step, which is you actually lock your back knee when you step so that you can put all your weight on your bone structure and not your muscles. Your muscles get a tiny rest between every step. And what I did is I got into a rhythm finally after I made this decision. The decision, right? David says, I'm going to give everything I
I'm
have to get
doing
to
it.
the top. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So I got to that and got into there and I get up to the top and the guide goes, "You're at the summit." And I was like, I finally just got in a rhythm, right? I actually could do another 1,000 feet. And he goes, that's it. You're at the top. And so it was the most anticlimactic summit I have ever been on. And I spent the next 12 hours going, why did I do this, Shoot? Right? This is like the dumbest thing I've ever done. And then finally on the car ride home, it's because I asked a different question. And you as a coach, right? You Shoop, you know, when you ask a different question, that's the value of a coach. Right? When you can ask that right different question to get that person to focus on something else. And my question was, instead of why is this the dumbest thing I've ever done or why did I do this? I asked, what were the best moments of this climb?
Mhm.
And the whole thing shifted. And so it's like one of the best moments is you go to Camp Muir. It's at 10,000 feet and you take a rest there.
Yep.
Like it's not it's a sleep, it's a nap, right? You get up at 2 in the morning and to get on. And but when I opened the door, we opened up and there was no moon. There were no clouds. It was the clearest sky I've ever seen. You can see the Milky Way galaxy and all the stars in between. And I got all my gear on just so I could spend 5 extra minutes sitting on a rock looking up at the vastness of the universe. And the one thing I took away from that shoot was that none of my problems ever in my life are ever a big deal in the context of the universe. I might think it's a big deal, that's my illusion, but my problem in the context of the universe, insignificant.
Mm,
And it was like the most valuable thing. So different moments came along with that. And that's why in that trip, I told people it's not to stand on the summit, it was to stand on your summit. And then it came around there. Why I called it the journey is like it's the best parts happen usually not at the summit. The best parts happen along the way
that's right.
of you pursuing a big goal. So that's
Yeah.
how I got here.